My name is Paul Wady and I'm based in southeast London, and I'm an autistic self-advocate who was diagnosed at the age of 41, 14 years ago now. We've got a one-man show called Gorilla Aspies, and it contains a long section on the Judge Rotenberg Centre. And what I explain to people is that they torture via electrocution autistic people to get them to behave in a neurotypical manner. And I show a slide of results from 2001 where a 14-year-old autistic girl, before and after, how she was treated and how her behaviours totally changed after they began electric shock torture with the graduated electronic decelerator 4. Which actually I discussed because I show the patent for it, and I show associated patents and all the other associated technology anyone's ever invented like it. Basically they're used on animals, they're used on criminals. You get the idea. My cat is currently rolling around the bottom of my tripod, making it shake. Anyway, point is that at the end I show the slide, graph information on the behaviours of a 14-year-old Aspie female in 2001. Before they started the treatment, she's behaving and misbehaving the way an autistic person would, trapped in a place like that, overstimulated, aggressive behaviours. Well, what do you expect? After they begin the torture, her behaviour changes altogether. She is able to go from 4th to 7th grade, able to use the computer unassisted. She starts to achieve a great deal academically. And what I explained to the audience at the end of the Judge Rotenberg piece is that, well, you can get the behaviours you want, but at what cost? Just because somebody starts behaving in a neurotypically acceptable way, it does not mean that is good and healthy for them. This woman started to show real ability academically, and her behaviour became relatively neurotypically acceptable. But it seemed to me that it came at the price of being tortured and coerced by abuse into consistently behaving like that. In other words, behave like that and work hard and achieve these things, or we will continue to torture you. And that is how the Judge Rotenberg Centre works, and that's why I believe I have read years ago that parents were very vociferous in their support for the Judge Rotenberg Centre. I think it's a marvellous thing. Well, that's because they're getting the behaviours they want. But those behaviours are not natural for the autistic prisoners who are trapped in this place. Israel, of course, was indicted after the film of Andrew McCall came out. Andrew McCall's mother took him to court. He was kicked out of his own establishment. That arch-behaviourist psychiatrist, his second-in-command, took over as far as we know. And the thing's still doing business as usual. That's the Judge Rotenberg Centre. I could have built a GED-4. It gives these 2-second shocks and got the ampage right between the between the points, and sort of gone around the audience shocking people. I thought instead I'd just take 2 needles and push them in for 2 seconds with about the same amount of force as would stimulate and simulate a GED before being strapped to, I think it's your arm, back of your shin. But I'm not allowed to do that, because you can't go around doing that to audience members, because in Britain anyway, you're not allowed to go around doing that to anyone, publicly or privately, let alone in a performance context. If they consent to it, say, yes, I don't mind being abused like that, you can stab them. But I think already you see the point I'm making, so I don't do it at all, I just talk about this. So thank you very much for discussing the Judge Rotenberg Centre, which apparently achieves a great deal in a neurotypical frame of reference. Well, what price behaviours?